And welcome one and all to another RSG Lunch stream. I am Finity, still filling in for Ranger. Ranger, I think, will be joining us today at some point. He is returning home today. He may be joining us for the lunch stream. Hopefully he'll be on tomorrow, because tomorrow is our big Wednesday night stream. But I am Finity, filling in for now. And with me is our regular panel of guests and RSG crewmen that we've come to love. Let's start out with the former apprentice, now master, trying to look for an apprentice, Mr. Sanely Red. Sanely Red, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
And then he is monitoring the chat, so if you guys have any questions, make sure that you put them in a form of a question for him in the chat, and he will be scooping them up, and we'll try to get to as many as we can at the end of the stream, because as you know, we still have some stuff to do before we get to that point. Then we also have Mr. Grimm the Mechanic. How are you doing, Mr. Grimm?
Doing pretty good.
Very concise crew today. Let's see if we can get a better response from Mr. Grande Patron, the talkative one.
I am not regular. I just have to say that right now. Whatever happens, I am large and in charge. That's all I got to say. I'm not a regular anything. There's nothing regular about me.
So considering the number of times we've had conversations with Grande about how Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is a bathroom game and how many times he takes poops, and then he comes on and starts off with, I'm not regular, I have weird thoughts about Grande right off the bat today.
Listen, if it doesn't involve chickens or pooping, I'm not interested. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, unfortunately that's true. The life of RSG. God. I don't think Ranger's wrong when he says we're all brain damaged.
I'm just telling you, you know I'm going to say something shocking and annoying and embarrassing. That's like my job as a human. I mean, I don't know. I've always done it. And if there's something abnormal that I could say at some random tangent, trust me, I'm going to say it, right? I'm just going to say it.
Oh, Grande.
Crap comes in my mouth. Crap comes into my head.
No!
Crap comes into my mouth. You pieces of shit for breakfast?
This is a lunch stream, Grande. Lunch stream.
I'm telling you, this is not the mature stream. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
No, crap going into anywhere is not for this conversation.
Oh my god. Everybody's eating lunch. Damn it, Grande.
Oh god.
I'm doing great, Finity. How are you, by the way?
Right now, I'm laughing hysterically. Xylo, save us.
Rutabaga!
Oh my god. Rutabaga.
And that other voice you hear is our boy, you formerly known as Xylo Takedown. Now it's just Takedown Games. Or is it still Xylo Takedown? What is it now?
I'm still going with Xylo Takedown. I mean, like, that's going to be all like my in-game names. Just kind of taking a different direction for the channel, do some more diversity for the channel, you know?
Great. Yeah, we want to make sure that you give, Sith some love and that you give the Empire some love. So maybe it'll be Tarkin Takedown for a little bit, or maybe it'll be something else, right?
Yeah, you never know. Hermit Takedown.
Hermit Takedown. Hermit Takedown. There you go. Wampa Takedown.
Oh, man.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Appreciate it, you guys. Glad to be here always.
Somebody's got to rep MC, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, Ranger's not here right now, so he's doing his thing. He deserves his break. MC's strong as always.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, so interesting.
Mr. Finity, what's our agenda, I guess?
So we're going to go through a roster review of Bubba Jones. He's in the chat as Chris Jones, so we're going to do his roster review. And because Mike is on holiday, and yesterday we didn't have a stream, we're going to do a Weird News Tuesday instead of a Weird News Monday. And then we'll answer all of your questions.
Nice.
Sweet.
Right, so let's go ahead and get started. I put the link in the Skype chat for you guys. So this is the roster of Bubba Jones, and he is looking for help with his arena team. as well as trying to get some teams for Heroic Pit and AAT. He wants to make sure that he's ready for CLS. He is working on First Order for BB-8, and sanely, I'll let you make your announcement here shortly. And then he's also working on tunes for Jedi Training Rey. He doesn't think that he'll get her this time, so we can take a look at his characters for Jedi Training Rey. He's also working on his Phoenix to get Thrawn. And then he wants to know what he should do after that, because he's trying to farm speed sets as well, but he's not getting the rolls. So, sanely, I'll let you make your announcements first, since he is looking to get BB-8 on the next time he's up. So what can you tell us about that?
The BB-8 event is going to be coming back June 14th. Very likely the Rey Jedi training event will come back at the same time like it did last time.
And there you go. So if you guys have been listening to us, you know that we've told you that the time frame is June 15 to July 31st. Somewhere in that range, they were going to come back based on the cadence. So now you know that it's on the front side of that. So be ready.
And we know this because we're getting the calendars released in slightly a different way, aren't we?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Loving that too.
So yeah, sanely, tell us where you got this information, because if people are looking on the forums, they may not find it.
Yeah, it's actually on gaming-fans.com. They have the
game changer, right?
Yes, and they have the exclusive scoop this time. And they also were the ones who broke that Lando is the exclusive login character next month.
Right.
So there you guys go. So Lando character of the month, BB-8 coming in the middle of next month. While Jedi Training Rey has not been officially announced, it is very highly likely that she will be accompanying him, as they usually have them accompanying each other. And sanely just put in the chat the link to the Gaming Fans website calendar. So take a look at that. And so if you're working on BB-8 and you're working on Jedi Training Rey, make sure you get your button gear.
Now, why do you? So, what's the guild? What's Bubba Jones's guild?
All right, so let's go to the roster review. So Bubba Jones is in Scourge of Stormson. So shout out to Scourge of Stormson.
Woohoo! Scourge of Stormson. Love you guys.
And he is a 1.5 million GP. It looks like he's been a little bit more active lately, or found a team that he likes. He's kind of in the 100 to 200 range. Little bit of fluctuation, kind of up and down, but he's right in that 100 to 200 range. So he's reaching that minimum goal that we usually tell people to get, which is top 200, so you can get those arena tokens. So he's doing good there. So he is running a Emperor Palpatine lead with Vader, Thrawn, Nihilus, and Scion. I'll go through the characters. Grim, do you want to take a look at his mods, and then we'll do his mods once we look at his characters a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, so looking at, and then Grande, you'll be able to evaluate all of his mods too, because I know you're jumping at it. So looking at his Emperor Palpatine, he does have a Zeta on his leader, so that is good. And so he doesn't have any speed set on his Emperor Palpatine. He does have speed secondaries on all of them. They're a little low except for the 30 speed arrow, so we'll have to see if he just doesn't have a lot of speed mods or not. Let's take a look at his Scion. And his Scion also has a Zeta, so that's good. And his Scion also has a bunch of single-digit speed secondaries, 8, 9, 7. So he looks like he's putting the speed on the characters. His Vader has his double-digit speeds. So we can see that he has 13s, 16s, 14s on Vader. Let's take a look at his Thrawn. So his Thrawn doesn't show up high. Okay,
Yeah,
so his Thrawn is gear 8. But
Yeah,
he
I think
has
we
his
need to
Thrawn at
put gear.
2.
We need to put gear on Thrawn.
Yeah.
Both show.
Well, I was gonna say is Vader doesn't really need all his best speed mods, because Vader already gets a pretty decent amount of speed by himself.
Yeah, it just depends on. Yeah, if he's
It's
down in the 100, 200,
it,
then he may be able to go without it.
yeah. I think he might be making it harder for himself, putting all those good speeds on just Vader. He might want to spread around, maybe give it to Thrawn or EP, because those two. While yeah, Vader speeds the team up with his AOE and stuff, Thrawn and EP can have the control. They can control the other team more than Vader can.
And with your Zeta on Scion too, since you're using Scion, the other thing too, and let us know, Jones, because I see you in the chat, so I don't know whether to call you Bubba or Chris, but in the chat, let us know, who are you typically facing in Arena? Because if you are facing other EP Vader teams, and Loki mentioned this a few weeks ago on our Wednesday stream, so I want to give him credit because I hadn't thought about this as the strategy to move forward. I do it, but for different reasons. If you're facing other EP Vader teams, a slower Vader can help you because if the other opposing Vader goes first, he will put dots on everyone, which will put dots on Scion, which will trigger Nihilus's unique, and then Nihilus can go and basically do a cooldown reduction on everyone. So a fast Nihilus can actually go a really long way if you are facing a lot of EP Vader teams. And Thrawn is another character. If you can get him fast, it'll also help. And once you do the turn meter reduction, you don't care so much as the removal of debuffs because you gain yourself like an extra turn if you're watching which ones get reduced. So you can turn meter swap with Emperor Palpatine and then do the stun instantly and not really worry about anything besides a basic from your opponents. So I think you're in a good position here. You're working on the right characters for Arena. I like your team. You definitely need to work on the stars, especially for Thrawn. So make sure that you're. You said that you're working on your Phoenix in order to get him, so we'll look over that. But anything else stand out, Grande, from his Arena team that you can sync up before we jump into mods a little bit?
I already jumped to the characters. I think his plan on farming characters is good, right? Phoenix to get his Chimera, Phoenix to get the rest of his stuff for Thrawn. I mean, he's using Thrawn in his Arena team, so it makes perfect sense for him to do that, and then to also work on the characters for his other legendaries and his other journey type characters. I think is important.
So looking at his Phoenix, I see one thing that I can tell you that I don't like seeing. But I don't know what the reason for it is, so you can tell us. His Ezra is farther along in stars than his Hera, and I don't know if that's because he's farming Ezra from the Cantina node, or maybe he's not farming either Ezra or Hera from the Cantina node at all. I know he's working on First Order, but just something to keep in mind. Ezra can also be gotten from your fleet, and you can simultaneously farm Ezra and Hera by using Hera from the Cantina nodes, getting Ezra from the fleet, and then once you're done with Hera, then you can finish off Ezra with Cantina. And that'll speed up your acquisition of Ezra and Hera. But if you're farming something else besides them, and your Ezra just got to 6-star because all you're doing is buying fleet and you're not doing Cantina, it's a little bit different. But your Chopper is also at 5-star. So let's take a look at his First Order, because if he's working on First Order, it might be because he's working on First Order Officer, and his Officer is 7-star. He is... Okay, so he still has to work on some characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-star First Order Stormtrooper, 5-star First Order TIE Pilot, 5-star Kylo Ren, and 3-star First Order Special Forces. So, yeah, so he has a little bit of work before he can get BB-8 up to 7-star, which is what you need for Jedi Training Rey. So yeah, you're definitely, unfortunately, not going to be able to get Jedi Training Rey this time. But you will be able to get BB-8 unlocked, and he is still a very good character unlocked in things like Territory Wars. So I think you're on good track there. Let's take a look at where his veterans are. So his veteran Han and Chewie are both a 3-star, which I'm actually okay with, considering that your first order isn't ready to get a 7-star BB-8 yet. So I would focus on trying to get
Agreed.
BB-8 and Thrawn first before Jedi Training Ray, because you have another like 3 months now to work on Jedi Training Ray stuff. Actually, 4 months, 4 to 6 months. So, all right. So, character-wise,
I'd work on his arena team. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally in agreement with you. I mean, get BB-8 because he's coming out and he's not that far. But he uses Thrawn on his arena team.
Mm-hmm.
You can use Thrawn every day.
Yeah.
And if he could get into the top 100 by having a 7-star Thrawn, I think he'd be happier.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of the Journey characters, he was working on getting CLS. So let's take a look at his CLS characters here. So he has R2 as 7-star, he has Farm Boy at 7-star, he has Old Ben at 7-star, Leia 7-star, and Stormtrooper Han at 7-star. So yeah, he's ready for CLS.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you are ready for CLS. The one thing, and you can always just run it through RNG a little bit. Let me take a look at your Old Ben's mods here. Because Old Ben is one of those that people may not be too careful about. He has in the CLS event that one phase where he basically just sacrifices himself to Vader. But your Old Ben can very easily die if you're not careful. So
yeah, he has to survive long
Somebody
enough.
said spoiler alert on Obi-Wan dying. That makes me laugh my ass off.
The thing with that one is he has to survive long enough to use the skill where he can sacrifice himself. So if he's not geared up or modded, you might run into him dying before he can use that skill, and he will fail the phase.
85, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, just try to stick some tenacity mods on him, because your problem is going to be if you get stunned. So try to stick some tenacity on him if you can, just before the event, if you're not doing well with your current one. You can give it a try. It's just RNG, so you don't have to change anything. Yeah, just stick tenacity mods on him if you reach any kind of challenge. Gear 8 is fine. Gear 85 is good. Just be careful about potential tenacity to avoid stuns. That's pretty much it. Okay, so
mods.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go to mods. So we looked at his arena team.
Or do you want to do? And then I do want to go back to ships. We missed ships a lot, and I want to go back to it afterwards.
Okay, well he didn't ask about ships, but okay, Grant. Then he also wants to look over his raid teams. So heroic AAT and heroic pit teams. So okay, let's go into his mods. Grande, I'll let you take it away here. Graham, you can give your initial analysis, and then Grande is going to do his Grande thing.
I was going to say that his mods are set up correctly. He has the best ones on his arena team. That's good. You might want to swap them around a little bit to play the turn meter game. But yeah, you do need to farm mods. Your highest speed secondary is 16. You might want to get some more.
The one mod that kind of stuck out for me as not being on the right character is the 10 speed square sitting on Zam Wessel. That's probably the one that I looked at and I was like, why is that there? That doesn't make sense to me. That's really the only one that I looked at and was like, I don't understand why it's there and why that's not the same set bonus as Nihilus is. So I didn't really understand why that was there or why that wasn't on a character that you would use more. That's probably the main one that I looked at.
Oh, good point.
That's the only one that I saw that kind of came out at me as not understanding.
I don't know. I think I know why he did left the 10 speed on Zam, because the square that's on Nihilus It's pretty close to the same one, except it has protection on it.
Yeah.
Percentage protection.
I guess I don't know why that's not then maybe sitting on a different character. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would. Yeah, I think with his roster, considering all the stuff that he's farming and stuff that he needs to gear up, buying mods from the mod store might hurt more than help.
Agreed. Yeah, you just need more speed secondaries, and you're farming those, so that's fine. And he just said, Grande, that it was because he just got that one and just had to put it somewhere.
Okay, I totally get it then.
So then he's doing a really good job on the modding side.
Yeah, on his ship.
Oh, he said when you mentioned ships, he said, "Oh God, no, ships is fine." Just so you know.
With ships, I see where he's going, and I'm just gonna say he's right on going all in on home one, and he's right on continuing to farm his Ghost and his Phantom and the Rebel ships he needs for Chimera, in my opinion. But he does look like he's in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And one of the benefits, actually, so this was also one of the questions that always used to come up before the Ships 2.0 release, which is what capital ship do you go for while you're leveling? And at the time, when you have only your base 3, which is the Home 1, the Executrix, and the Endurance, Executrix is your best capital ship. But we would always say go with Home 1, because Home 1 is kind of the middle one. Endurance kind of fell by the wayside a little bit after some of the new ships were introduced. And we would say go Home 1, because Home 1 is definitely serviceable, and you could get Chimera with it, and Chimera was the meta ship at the time. Now, Home 1 is actually kind of rejuvenated with the Ships 2.0. It is actually a very viable ship, and then you can still work on Chimera. So going Home 1, I think, is a really smart move.
Yeah, I like his play. He's doing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're doing very well in the right direction here. So let's take a look at his characters again, and look at some potential teams for his heroic AAT. One thing I'll tell you right now, Chris, is once you get CLS, you will solo the Rancor. It's silly how good CLS is in the Rancor. You can pretty much solo.
Totally agree.
So I wouldn't worry too much about Pit at this point. Just wait for the CLS event, and it should be coming soon as well.
He could solo it with Empire, probably.
Yeah. He doesn't have it. I mean, you don't need to. He doesn't have a Zeta Vader lead. But I know Mike made a video where he did it without it as well. But don't put a Zeta on it for that purpose, just so you know. We're not saying put a Zeta on it. But you can put a Vader lead even without the Zeta. It's a little bit more RNG dependent, and then a bunch of turn meter reduction characters. You have Qui-Gon. Let's see, where is your Rex? His Rex is 7-star, just lower gear. You should work on gearing him up too, because he's always like a useful character every time, everywhere. It's ridiculous how useful he is. You have a 7-star T-Bow, but he's level 63, gear 6. You'll want to level him up eventually anyways for that Ewok event in order to start getting your Wicked Shards. So it's up to you when you want to start investing in him, but if you want, you can start investing in him now, and that should help you a little bit with the Pit, because he does do like a full turn meter reduction. And actually, you.
Jen
Mhm.
Jen Urso is another one.
Yeah, she's 6 stars. So if you finish her,
I know.
you'll be able to use her. Trying to see who else.
You can try it with First Order Officer, but I didn't have very much luck with it.
Yeah, I never had luck too. I was actually using Tusken Raider back in the day, but I wouldn't recommend investing in Tusken
I wouldn't
Raider
either.
for it.
Literally, if he gets CLS and OG Han, he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, and so why put all this gear into everything else?
Yep. Yeah, that's why I was specifying, like, to what Grande was saying. That's why I was specifying the other use for Tebow. So, which is the Wicked event in order to get Wicked shards. But again, that's a lower priority thing to do. You could run a team right now with Vader, Qui-Gon, Rex, and you could try Tebow if you want to put some just to level him up to level 85 or something. But it's probably not even worth it. Just try to see what you can do at that point, and then see maybe a TIE Fighter pilot to try and synergize off of the Vader lead, so you have someone fast going. Yeah. Just wait for CLS. As for...
But that's not an auto team. I mean,
No.
you'd have to play the whole
Yeah,
thing.
you would have to play that one if you really wanted to try and solo it. As for your heroic AAT, let's look at your... Let's go first with your Jedi. Because one of the original squads you could use with Jedi was a I'm a Gun D lead with a bunch of Jedi in order to counterattack.
Yep.
But his I'm a Gun D is a 4-star, his Aayla Secura is a 3-star, so we're not going to be doing that. We saw that his Kylo Ren wasn't 7-star yet. What is his Savage? His Savage is a 6-star.
There's a P1 team. He doesn't have it. It's
yeah, don't say
old
Wampa.
Ben with Barrett. It's old Ben with Barris. But he doesn't have that team either.
Yeah. So I think for P1, it doesn't look like you have one of the really solid squads. How are you guys doing in Heroic AAT? Do you already have it on farm and you're just looking for something to contribute more damage to, Chris? Because as it stands, I mean, you have teams that can do damage, but it's not going to be like super high damage. You don't have one of the high damage squads that are typically used. So, phase 1, you have some potential damage dealing squads, but nothing that's one of the super ones. For phase 2, let's look at your droids.
Hey, when he gets BB-8 and he gets CLS, he'll have a great team.
Yes, he will. Yeah, you'll have that one really soon. Your HK-47 is 4-star, so you don't have the droid team. Where are his rebels? Okay, good. And he has heroic AAT on farm, so that's good.
What about it? Resistance he can use in P2.
Yeah. He
OG
has
resistance.
Okay, so he does have the rebels to potentially run that in P2 if they need to. Let's take a look at his resistance.
Does he have a Zeta Fen?
No. Well, his Finn is 5-star.
Finn is 5-star.
Mm-hmm. So these are all going to be characters he'll work on for Jedi Training Rey. So his resistance isn't there either. So he has the Rebel squad that he can run in either P2 or P4.
Right. You're talking about the Wedge Biggs,
Leia, Lando, and then like a Stormtrooper Han or an Akbar.
Yep. That's a great P4 team. Mm-hmm. And a great... What about going old school with clones? Although I doubt he has that.
Yeah, I'm guessing he doesn't have the clones ready either.
That was such a waste of resources. Don't even bother. Like, I was kind of pissed I did it at this point. I mean, occasionally I'm like, like once every 3 months, I'm like, oh, yay! They reworked Clone Sergeant ship. I'm so glad I have Gear 11. But besides that, I'm like, this is just garbage. overall for a low spend player, I think he's doing really well.
Yeah, I think he's farming all of the right things. Now, we don't want to push you too much into one direction or another, right? So if your guild has, and it might sound weird to say this, but if your guild has heroic AAT on farm, don't stress out too much about trying to get teams that do a lot of
Totally
damage
agree.
in phase 2, right? You work on teams that can help you overall in the game, and if they give you something extra for the AAT, great. If not, that's fine too. You're farming with a purpose. Same thing with Rancor. You don't want to focus too much on Rancor now because you're going to get CLS, and CLS is going to change everything for you about Rancor. And so there's not much you really need to worry about with regards to that either. So I like we all say, stay on target.
Thrawn will also change his Rancor team.
Yes,
right?
It will.
So him getting Thrawn and him getting CLS right there will completely change his world for Rancor. He will effectively solo it with those two characters.
Okay.
So yeah, that means continue on with your Phoenix.
Yep.
We're waiting on the
BBA.
CLS event to come back around.
Mm-hmm.
You're working your First Order. To me, and First Order's a great team for TW, and First Order's a great team for the Sith Raid. So to me, they've got great ships. So his utility, he's working on all really good utility pieces. I think he's got a great plan. I think he needs to farm mods just a little bit more, like maybe 1 or 2 days a week, push on those mods a little bit.
Yeah. So I think you're on a good track here.
Hello?
Sorry, I muted Skype and not my my OBS, but yes, I said he's on a good track here.
Okay.
All right. So if you have any other questions or anything else to add, Xylo, Grim, Sanely, I know we were going through a lot there.
Not really. Just work on mods.
Yeah.
He should be good. Because that, from the looks of it, he's got everything he needs to do really well in Arena. He just needs the mods to speed his guys up.
Yeah.
Real quick too, I also noticed that he hasn't unlocked Hermit or Wampa yet, so pick one of those two. And
I bet he's farming gear. That'd be my guess, is he's pushing on gear over there.
Especially for his Arena team and his back half, like his Gear 11 tunes that he's sitting on right now. He's wanting to put him up to Gear 12. Get Hermit Yoda and Wampa, man. Unlock them both, get them to 5 stars, and then, go back and forth, get them up to 7 stars at the same time.
So that's not a bad way to hedge the bet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pick one.
Yeah.
And spend like half of that resource on getting them to 5 stars.
Like kind of like the vets, like kind of like how we did the vets. You start them one at a time. Go back and forth, star them one at a time. Get 1 to 6 stars. Go back, get the next one to 6 stars, and then go back to Yoda or Hermit or Wampa, whatever you want to do. Both characters will benefit you. Me personally, I got Yoda to 7 stars first, then did Wampa, and I'm still a little behind on Wampa, but I really love Wampa where he's at, just having him unlocked and at 6 stars, and he both tunes are amazing and they'll benefit you in the long run for sure.
And I'm kind of with you. To me, I could honestly say it's either or on either one of those. But the other thing is that he's already got a strong Vader. I might tell him to go Wampa. He could actually put Wampa on his Arena team 5 star.
Because Wampa will help him with damage output in the whole game. Plus Hermit Yoda, you can squeeze him into any team, but mainly in my opinion, he's for the Sith Raid to stretch out your teams. So if you get Wampa now, that'd be way better for you, in my opinion, just to see where your roster's at and where you're going and your future plans. So get Wampa up and unlock him, and then if you want to unlock Hermit Yoda, then go back to Wampa, or however you want to do it. Just start working on one of the two.
Good point, Xylo Takedown. Glad we have you around.
Thanks, Grande. Oh, man.
I'm nothing if not positive and supportive.
All right. So yeah, so if you have any other questions, just message us on the RSG Discord, and we'll be glad to help you, Chris. All right, so now we come to that time of day where we go to, well, it's Tuesday, and normally you have Swear Your Daughter Tuesday, but Mike is on vacay right now, so there is no Swear Your Daughter. But lucky for us, we didn't have a Monday show because it was a holiday in the U.S., and because of that, we are going to do Weird News Monday on a Tuesday. So.
Well, and if you want, I'll start swearing.
Oh God, no, it's not the same because she swears about eyebrows.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, we need more eyebrow stuff. All right, so the first one here is you're not emotionally prepared for these racing corgis, and I figure this is a kind of a cute one for everyone to start off with. So we know it's Memorial Day weekend, and you'd rather be lying on a beach with a glass of rosé in hand, but take off your sunglasses for just a moment and look at these damn corgis. Lots of fluff-butted corgis gathered on the Santa Anita racetrack in Arcadia, California on Sunday for the first ever SoCal Corgi Nationals. So if you can see it, there are corgis.
That's hilarious.
They're so cute. I love corgis. They look like little sausages. They are little sausages running around. I love them.
You know who else likes corgis, don't you?
Who?
Cozy Spoon.
Oh, yes.
She has a couple corgis, I think.
And I think it's I'm Not Really a Jedi had a corgi as his icon or something for a little bit too.
Oh, maybe he has a corgi as well. Maybe so.
Yeah, I love corgis. So yeah, so here's all your corgis with all the bandanas. So you guys can enjoy that for your lunch stream here. It's a corgi race.
There you go. Nothing like a bunch of good corgis.
No.
Without a doubt.
Now, let's go to a different type of dog. Snoop Dogg breaks Guinness record with giant gin and juice. I wish I was making this up. You have to see the picture on the screen, Grande. It's literally Snoop Dogg with a glass that's almost as tall as he is, setting a world new record for largest paradise cocktail yesterday at Bottle Rock Napa Festival in California, measuring over 132 U.S. gallons of gin and juice.
Holy crap.
And there's 180 bottles of gin in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go down. So it's all because of his hit Gin and Juice from 1993. The cocktail was mixed in a glass measuring 5 feet high and 3 feet wide, contained 180 bottles of Hendrick's gin and a massive load of juice donated for the attempt by Whole Foods. Because when you think of Snoop Dogg and gin and juice, you think of Whole Foods. What the hell?
You do now.
Apparently you do now.
Oh my God.
This is crazy. I can't believe this.
Just to give you an idea, I think I was a freshman in college a freshman in high school when that song came out.
I was...
You were 8.
I was 9, yeah. I was 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet I know the song, but yeah, it wasn't my main song.
I was 16 when that song came out.
Yeah. So, there you go. And
All
now,
right. And
the last
the
story.
next one.
A girl, 3 years old, draws imaginary friend, and her description is absolutely terrifying. So, young girl's creepy description of her imaginary friend has left people a little concerned. It's so weird, in fact, that some are convinced she's being haunted by a ghost. American actress Natalie Morales shared a photo of a magazine piece in which youngsters had been asked to describe and draw their fantasy pals. One child, Ruby, 3, caught Natalie's eyes. Her make-believe friend is, well... So the way she describes it, This is my imaginary mum, grateful. Her yellow eyelashes mean that she can see in the dark. She only comes to me at nighttime. It scares me sometimes, but I always want her to come back. She has 2 babies in her belly. She's 14 but can never have a birthday. People are tweeting back this picture. It's like, Ruby, you have a ghost. This is straight up terrifying.
That's entirely possible.
Seriously, she has no birthday and 2 babies in her belly. So I'm scrolling down because some of these tweets are just hilarious. One of them, she's 14 but she can never have a baby. This is the most horrifying phrase I've ever heard. This is so freaking bizarre. So there you go. I don't think this picture is creepy as hell. Let me see if I can zoom in, because one of the creepiest parts is the fact that it is like the drawing has. Let me see how I can zoom in with this. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. But the creepiest part is that if you look at the drawing a little bit, you can see that she has like these yellow eyelashes, but it looks like her eyes are just glowing. So weird. And I like the pregnant bump. She has a pregnancy bump on her ghost.
Dude, this kid's got a creative imagination, man, I'll tell you.
Or a ghost.
I'd say it's probably closer to you know, I wouldn't say it's a ghost, but something of that relation.
She's living paranormal activity.
Yeah. All right. So those are your weird stories of the day. I still don't know how much weird it is than Grande starting off the stream saying he's not regular. So let's go back to questions now. Sanely, what questions have we gotten from the people?
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions.
Okay.
Nathaniel Miller, good morning, RSG. Have Finn and Grande calm down?
No, they're talking about our Saturday gripe. We weren't really griping. So we need to be real. So here's a couple of things that I kind of want to set the record straight for a little bit, right? You know, so I think constructive criticism is important, right? Constructive criticism. Yelling and screaming at somebody and not actually like giving them any kind of takeaway is a bad idea. Finity and I probably both agreed that something needed a change in ships, and probably for the most part we're pretty okay with the abilities. The problem is the path that happening over a holiday weekend, the fact that it all happened at once. Now, let me tell you what this doesn't mean. This doesn't mean to go out and start cussing at a bunch of devs on Reddit. Let's remember that these are human beings. And nobody's forcing anyone to do anything. So I want to make sure that whenever we have a conversation about this stuff, we are discouraged with the process and want to help make the game better. I don't know if that's really our honest intent. We may be discouraged about a few things and we may rant about it, but I want to rant about it, say what could have been different, and then say what's positive about it. Just yelling and screaming about something, and maybe it sounded like we were doing that. And if it did, I apologize, because that wasn't the intent at all. It needs to be a little bit more of a process, but I don't want to have it where somebody just thinks that we're just a bunch of crying babies or something. Because I promise you, that's not the intent at all. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, Benedy?
No, I mean, you pretty much said it. So what we wanted to do, so we weren't necessarily complaining about the ships itself, right? I think the abilities and stuff, we were more concerned about how they implemented the change. And all of these different systematic changes, right? There was a lot of changes where they redid all of the ships. They redid the 3v3 and to the 5v5. And our complaint wasn't necessarily with the change itself, although I'm not a fan of it. The complaint was more with the fact that they didn't allow us any opportunity to really understand what these changes were before it went live. And even when it went live, there was no opportunity for us to really learn about the ships. So it feels like you're in a trial by fire in Fleet Arena where you're actually having, I'm going to say real world, but it's all virtual, but real world consequences to not being able to win fleet battles. And when you had people that were going into this, right, that had issues with, that were fine with Fleet, and you make these changes, you're going to upset them. And my issue with the 3v3 battle is that it didn't make any sense with what they were saying they were trying to help. They came out with a list of things that were basically saying, this is what we are trying to accomplish. We are trying to accomplish A, B, C, D. And we were able to basically look at their changes and say, okay, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense. And my issue with 3v3 is that it made no sense why they did certain changes. It didn't match up with the problem as a solution. And so either that is that there was some reason for the change that we are not aware of, which may very well be the case, in which case then I would hope that they would communicate that a little bit more. Or it is that somebody just thought that this was better and they did it on a whim because it was somebody's kind of little brainchild about how to fix ships, because ships was inherently flawed in the system that it is, because it has a dependency on characters, so it can't be kind of this independent system like characters that can continue to grow on its own. And so that may be the possibility as well. Whatever the scenario is, the 3v3 aspect didn't make sense with the explanations that they gave, and that's all I was really complaining about, which is they were making changes that didn't seem necessary based on what their target goal was. And so my point was more just making sure that you know what the goals are, why they did something, because as customers, if we are going to continue using this as our product, which is what we are customers, and we have people that spend several $100s every week if they want to on the game. We have other people that spend their time, which is just as valuable. You want to make sure you understand what you're investing in. And I can say since that stream, I have had one person from my arena shard and one person from my fleet arena shard basically quit the game. One of which went to the competitor game because they just found that this game was getting too weird with the direction that it was going. And so that's why we were doing that stream, is because we are seeing people in our longtime shards, arena shards and fleet shards, leaving. And attrition is always part of a game like this. The longer it goes, the more people will eventually just kind of fall out. But if there's a way for us to help stop it because we like to play this game and we want to keep people in it, that's what we'll do. So.
Okay.
And that's science.
I think we answered that. Was a long-winded question.
I like Van Seal's. Well, how did we all learn to swim? We all drowned and got resuscitated by a lifeguard symbol. I can say I have never drowned and been resuscitated by a lifeguard, and I know how to swim. Okay.
Danilo Papais. Question, any suggestions for an inexpensive lunch to take to work without knowing if they have a way to heat stuff up? Make a sandwich.
Yep.
There you go.
I love sandwiches.
I like to make like a big pot of spaghetti at home and stretch it out for a couple days and bring that to work every day in a container. It's always a microwave.
That was his question, right? He didn't know if there was a microwave?
Right.
So here's something I've done before. And I will openly admit it is a little bit of an acquired taste because it is better hot, but it tastes fine when it's not hot. Those Totino pizza rolls. I will eat those like crazy even at room temperature. They don't have to be super hot. In fact, when they're super hot, it's hard to eat it because the cheese like kind of melts on your tongue and burns you. But Totino's pizza rolls, if you warm some up beforehand, and they come in like this bag with like 800 of them. So you can just put a few of them in like a Ziploc baggie and take them with you. And then you can snack on them too. You can snack on them. You can have them as a meal. They're great. And if you mix up different Totino's ones, and you have kind of like this variety pack where you don't know whether you're getting like the pepperoni or you're getting the cheese or you're getting the sausage one. So you can make yourself kind of a variety pack Totino pizza roll bag. So that is something I've done before.
Clayton
That
Benjamin.
actually sounds like a good idea. Sorry. Go ahead, Stanley.
Clayton Benjamin, question, should I gear up Dooku because of the quests?
If you're in a position for it. Yeah, so just really quick, the right now, the quests are all vanity things right now. So you do it if it's not impacting your gameplay. If you had nobody else that was going to be able to do, if you had nobody else that you were working on, then go ahead and do it. But Dooku right now isn't a main character in any particular game phase. So.
Yeah, he's not going to benefit you as much as you think in the end game, so he's not. Especially for Quest.
Top ARPA. Question, can Visas work for First Order in Phase 4 Sith Raid with no Nihilus or Hermit Yoda or no healer?
She can. If you have Visas, though, you might want to use her in Phase 1 with Jedi Training Rey instead or something.
Yeah, about Visas is, the best part is she's like one of those anywhere. So, I mean, to answer the question, yeah, it just depends on what comp you're running with First Order. But also, like Finn said, you can look to plugging her in somewhere else that's going to benefit you more, especially in the Sith Raid, like your comps with JTR in Phase 1. You could even squeeze her in with that Hermit Yoda Wampa G damage there. I'd like to see her in that. So look to use her somewhere else.
Yep. Hey, just wait. I see what you wrote there, Stanley. So hold on. So all you people about food recommendations and stuff, if you are doing fine and you're like not having any health issues, eat whatever the hell you want. Oh my god, I'm sure you've all seen it where there's like this freaking like 120-year-old woman that gets asked, what is your secret to living this long? And they say like bacon. It's not uncommon. The recommendations for food go on what your criteria is. If you work out, you can eat whatever the hell you want as long as you're staying healthy. Eat Totino pizza rolls, eat Twinkies, whatever. But if you have like freaking diabetes, don't eat Twinkies. Don't eat Totino pizza rolls. Don't eat bread products if you have diabetes. How the hell am I supposed to know what Danilo Papayas' medical issues are to know what the hell to recommend him to eat? You are only to drink water and protein
He's
shakes.
telling you to eat Twinkies.
Yes.
Stress will kill you quicker than food will.
No, Ouchie's point is different. She's saying pizza rolls are nasty. I eat bagel bites. I like pizza rolls. I agree, though, that bagel bites are better. But here's the problem with bagel bites as a snack food. The pizza is on the outside, so they don't travel very well because once you warm them up, you have to wait for them to cool down, and then you have to like make sure they don't stick. The Totino pizza rolls are better because they're encapsulated, so you can do whatever the hell you want with them.
5-minute timer, rapid fire. Let's go.
No, we're talking about food, Garde. It's a lunch stream.
Eric Estrella. Question, I switched to Gear 12, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, Thrawn, Darth Nihilus, Scion, 4-star. And I have my best speed mods on them. For some reason, I sometimes struggle and can't beat CLS, Chase, Solo, and R2 team. Why is that?
Fracture Solo.
Mm-hmm.
There's your answer.
What's the team he's going up against?
CLS, R2, Han Solo, and Chase.
Yep.
What's the team he's using?
EP
Emperor
lead with Scion.
Darth Vader.
Here's what I do to beat those teams. I have my Thrawn mod to be the fastest. So I transfer turn meter to Scion, which usually makes Scion go first. I use his AoE Dispel, then I fracture OG Han and then kill everything else off. Because OG Han on that team is your biggest threat. He will destroy your team if you can't take him out of the picture.
This is why I run 4 different teams. So I see that team and I throw in my GK Barris, CLS, Thrawn, and Nihilus, and they don't even have to be super modded. Once you have GK and Barris, you have the counter to a CLS team automatically there. Your Thrawn and Nihilus are automatically modded because you're using them in your main EP squad, and then you have CLS, who just basically does stuff on his own. He doesn't really care. So that's why I run multiple squads just to do counters.
Unfortunately, I don't have the mods to run multiple arena teams yet.
No, he's right. We didn't see it on my climb team, but there is a CLS team that's still in my, top 10. And I got to tell you, every time I switch from my team to a CLS team, and it doesn't even have my best mods on it, and I just swap teams. Finity is correct. You get to the point where swapping teams it can sometimes be easier than swapping mods or changing your kill order with a certain team. Okay. Next question.
Nathaniel Miller, question, anyone know what counts at 3-star for the new ship challenge mission? I got it 3-star even though I lost someone. Maybe because I call in reinforcements so I still had 3 out?
As long as your original 3 survive.
Yeah, but you got it. He just said he lost someone and he still 3-starred it. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It happened for me. Like the first time I went in, I lost one of my starting ships.
Robo-Xylo!
Robo-Xylo.
Oh, sorry.
Domo arigato roboto Xylo. Lots of O's in that one.
You want to try again, Xylo? I don't know if you fixed what you were.
How about now?
Sounds better.
How about now?
To me, I lost one of my starting ships and I still 3-starred it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Eric Estrella, question, been away for the last couple of days and missed out on most of the new content. Can you guys tell me the pros and cons of Kira and what's her future role in the game?
So she's a neat character. She does an
Her kit is
AoE
amazing.
stagger, but her use seems incomplete. It looks like she is going to be the leader for a light side scoundrel faction, but with more characters that are still needed that are not in game. So take from that what you will. She's a neat character for PvE. She may have PvP purposes depending on what the new character is. She has a kit that could go either way depending on what the support is. As it stands right now, she's minimally useful in PvE.
Yeah, her leadership is nice, but in the current state of the game, unless a leadership has turn meter manipulation, it isn't very good outside of like territory battles. Maybe in PvE.
I mean, it can be good in the Sith raid without turn meter manipulation.
Right, yeah, damage output in general.
But
I
that's
think
rare.
She's more useful as a support character, not in the leadership, slot. Like, she's amazing in a bounty hunter team under Boba because of her scoundrel bonuses to other scoundrels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I talked about this a lot on the Battlefront stream last night with Xylo and Van Seal.
All right, let's do two more questions here.
Okay, Sword of the Jedi. Question, how far will I have to let my arena team fall to do the Jedi quest with the wins in arena?
Don't worry about freaking quests, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it.
Really is. Just here's the thing. Wait for the Jedi rework. There you go.
Let me ask you this. I mean, do you actually go in and try to finish achievements? I know I don't. They just happen when they happen.
Right.
I mean, if I have to do them, but I'm not. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna like stop simming GW so I can finish a freaking quest. What do I get for this quest? Let's go look at one of these dumbass quests for a minute. And I don't mean to be a
like 3
jerk.
crystals.
10 crystals and 50K credits. What's the next one?
Woo.
Oh, I get 10 crystals and 50K credits. What's the next one? Oh, I get 10 crystals and 50K credits. Can I just tell you how much I don't care about that? Like my
sounds like a trend.
My sanity is worth more than doing those quests.
Yeah. I to be honest, I actually did go out of my way to do achievements, but that was before that was to get Vader before he became farmable from the fleet store.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing OP. There's nothing OP in any of these quests.
I'm 2 of 10 on the Jedi arena one. Next question.
Back in my day, Back in my day, we had to farm Vader out of achievements.
75.
You what?
Defeat 75 Jedi. I'm 20 of 75.
No, you're not defeating Jedi with the Jedi quest line.
What, am I on the wrong quest?
You're not looking at the Jedi one. You're not killing Jedi for the Jedi title.
Oh. Battle win 200 battles with 5 Jedi. I'm 2. Do you want to know why I'm 2? I'll tell you exactly why I'm 2. Territory Wars. I won with 5 Jedi under Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn lead, and I won with I run a 5 Jedi team with my GK Barris team.
You should have finished that one, Grande.
Nice.
You could have finished that one really
they're
easy.
talking about the one after that, I think.
At 2 a week, I'll finish it in 2 years, bro. I'm freaking gold.
Why didn't you go for it though? You could have. I finished mine. It took literally like 3 hours. Scattered over 3 days.
Because 3 hours of my time is worth more than 50K crystal credits and 10 crystals.
But you poo like 8 times a day.
I don't poo. I don't poo 8 times a day. 4.
Yeah, 4. Come on.
I don't know if you realize this, Grande. We mentioned this before. If you went to during the Kira event, if you went to that practice round and you used 5 Jedi and you just put it on auto, that counted towards your quest line.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I did. I ended up finishing off my Jedi one and the killed the Empire with Ahsoka one.
So I have to use my phone for other things besides playing this game.
What the hell?
I did the Empire with Ahsoka and the Bounty Hunter, the Boba Fett one.
I make like 400 phone calls a day, and I have like 275 text messages a day.
I think you need to redetermine your bathroom priorities, Grande.
And I got one device. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You need to redefine your bathroom priorities.
And rethink your life.
Grande, go back on the toilet.
Give your life up to RN Jesus, Grande. He won't lead you astray.
All right, one more, right? And we're done,
let's do one more and then we'll stop.
Nathaniel Miller, question: anyone run the thermal detonator scumbags team in the Sith Triumvirate Raid Phase 1? I'm not clear on the reason for Grandmaster Yoda on the team.
What?
I've never heard of that team comp.
I know what he's talking about. It's like tier 6 though. It's not heroic, and it's like Hera, First Order officer, this Jawa that drops the thermal detonator.
Oh, Jawa engineer.
Basically just a team comp that keeps dropping thermal detonators, but again, it won't work in heroic, so I wouldn't base a team comp in a tier 6 Sith raid. Yeah, it won't work in heroic, avoid that team.
In a non-heroic AAT, you can also use Zeta Kylo Ren.
Sith raid.
I know, but in normal AAT, you can actually get just Darth Maul by himself, Zeta, just take on the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Phase 2, he can knock down Phase 2 by himself, keeps AoEing everything.
And then by that time, his health pool's so big, he just takes full hits from the freaking the AAT that's down in the corner, and it doesn't even phase him. I mean, it's really dumb. And he takes full hits from. I mean, and he could even get past enraged. I mean, it's the dumbest thing ever.
That's just the point of the question, really. It's just you don't any raid if it's gonna work in a lower tier, it's not gonna carry over into heroic. Like Grande was saying with Maul, it doesn't work in heroic, but it works in the regular AAT. And then any team comps with debuffs in the Sith raid, you can scratch those right away going into heroic because you're not going to get debuffs to stick on the raid bosses.
I mean, I have a hard time getting Ray. I mean, sometimes you'll do Ray and you'll get like turn meter reduction, but like none of her other crap sticks.
Right, like my JTR, she's got a potency cross, and she's got a lot of potency, like over 30% potency. But my JTR in heroic, she'll be lucky to put speed down on him once on Nihilus in phase 1, as opposed to in tier 6 or tier 5 when I was in my past 10
all
guild.
4 proc.
Yeah, every time you did that debuff, you would get all the buffs down and the turn meter off of Nihilus. But again, it's not going to happen in heroic as much as you like, no matter how much potency you got. The potency and tenacity check, tenacity is going to kill you in the Sith raid.
The raid bosses end up getting such high tenacity that nothing will stick whatsoever.
Yeah, by like the 3rd or 4th time, it's like don't even bother because I think their tenacity stacks.
Yeah, every time they get hit, their tenacity goes up.
So yeah, avoid those debuff teams for sure.
I mean, personally, I think it's a stupid mechanic, but...
I totally agree.
So you know why the thermal detonators don't work in heroic compared to tier 6? Is because there is a massive drop-off in the percentage of health that you can do your damage on. Because in tier 6, the health of Nihilus in phase 1 is ridiculously high, and so when you do your thermal detonator, the damage that you do is equal to a percentage of the health, and the total amount after that is greater than the protection that he has. With heroic raid, and this is because we tested it out because we tested out a thermal detonator team the first time we went into heroic Sith raid. You could have 6 detonators stacked up on Nihilus, and it doesn't break through his protection. So that's why the mechanic doesn't work. It's because the health is considerably less in heroic, but it's because you can only use the characters once and then they're gone. So that's the limitation and the trade-off, and why detonators don't work.
Yeah, and even if there's a team that you're trying to focus in on because you don't have like JTR, for example, in phase 1, look for like the Thrawn lead Magma Trooper comps. You can put Hermie Yoda in as a 5th for a healer. Save you some Empire tunes for the rest of the raid. There's a lot you can do, and that Thrawn team with Magma Trooper in phase 1 will still get you a good 600-800k damage in heroic. So it's still doing your part in a sense without having JTR and without hurting your other team comps for later on.
All right. So that covers our questions for today. If you guys have more questions, hop on the RSG Discord and we'll try to answer what we can for you guys. Let's go ahead and let everyone kind of pimp their stuff. Let's start with Xylo. Xylo, pimp your stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Finn. Just changing up my channel a little bit. Xylo Takedown still at Takedown Games is the channel name now. I'm doing a little bit of other game content as well as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, of course. So if you like my Galaxy of Heroes content, come check it out. And if you haven't, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it too. And thanks for having me on the stream as always.
Of course. Then we go to the Frenchie tickler, Mr. Grande Patron.
Well, I would just pimp RSG.
Pimp RSG
if you're
then.
Watching, what's that?
Pimp RSG.
Woo woo.
So, if you're watching this and it's a lunchtime stream because you needed something to do while you're sitting on the toilet, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and make sure that you hit the little bell icon. That way you get to hear me say dumb crap every day. Because I say dumb crap every day.
That's right. So if you learned anything today, listen to Grande say dumb crap while you're on the toilet taking a crap. RSG motto for the week. Sanely, Grim, anything else to add? I don't know where to go from there.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to say that the silence is enough. So, with that, I am Finity with Grim, Sanely, Xylo, and Grande, signing off for this lunch stream. And remember, Totino's Pizza Rolls, and 4 times a week. Or 4 times a day. Damn, 4 times a week would be bad. 4 times a day. Have a good day, everyone.